When did you realize your spouse's late nights at work were actually a second apartment? I found the lease agreement in his gym bag on a Monday in March. He'd asked me to grab his water bottle because he forgot it in the car. The papers were folded under his workout clothes. 1247 Oakmont Avenue, apartment 3B. 12-month lease starting September. His signature at the bottom next to a woman's name I didn't recognize. Rachel Dumont, co-tenant. My hands shook holding those pages. We'd been married 6 years, lived together for 8. I stood in our garage staring at proof my husband had been renting another apartment for 6 months without telling me. The address was 15 minutes from our house. 15 minutes from where I slept every night believing he was working late at the firm. I took photos of every page with my phone, put the papers back exactly how I found them. Walked inside and made dinner pretending everything was normal. David came home at 9 that night. He kissed my forehead and said the Mercer case was killing him. Long hours, difficult client. Might be like this for a few more weeks. I asked if he wanted dinner and he said he'd grabbed something at the office. He smelled like cologne I didn't recognize. Not the one I bought him for Christmas. Something woodsy and expensive. He went upstairs to shower and I sat at the kitchen table looking at the photos on my phone. The lease was clear. Monthly rent of $2,000 split between 2 tenants. His bank account linked for automatic payments. Our joint account that I had access to showed his regular paycheck deposits and normal expenses. Nothing unusual, which meant he had another account I didn't know about. I worked from home as a freelance graphic designer. David was a corporate attorney at Fisher & Lane downtown. His hours had always been unpredictable, but 6 months ago, they became a pattern. Late nights Monday and Wednesday, sometimes Friday. He'd text around 6 saying he'd be home by 10. Sometimes it was midnight. I'd learn to eat dinner alone and be asleep when he got back, or pretend to be asleep. I thought I was being a supportive wife, understanding about the demands of his career. Meanwhile, he'd been paying rent on a second apartment with a woman whose name I'd never heard. I waited until he was asleep that night. Then I went downstairs and searched his office. His home office was off limits usually. Client confidentiality, he said. Attorney work product that I shouldn't accidentally see. I'd respected that boundary for years. Now I went through every drawer and filing cabinet, found nothing about the apartment. His work laptop was password protected. I tried our anniversary, my birthday, his birthday. Nothing worked. I checked his desk calendar and saw his actual schedule. Court dates, depositions, client meetings, all during normal business hours. The evenings were blank. No notes about working late, no case names written down, just empty spaces where he claimed to be drowning in paperwork. I took photos of the calendar pages from the past 6 months, evidence of the gaps between what he told me and what his schedule actually showed. Tuesday morning, I called Fisher & Lane, asked to speak with David's secretary. The receptionist connected me to a woman named Julie who'd worked with him for 3 years. I told her I was David's wife and needed to confirm his schedule for a family matter. She pulled up his calendar without hesitation. He had a deposition at 2 and a client meeting at 4. Nothing after 5. I asked about the Mercer case he'd mentioned. She paused and said she wasn't familiar with any client named Mercer. Asked if I meant the Morrison case from last year that already settled. I thanked her and hung up. Sat in my home office staring at my computer screen. The Mercer case didn't exist. My husband had been lying about working late for 6 months using a fake case name. I drove to Oakmont Avenue that afternoon. The building was newer construction, maybe 5 years old. Nice brick exterior, landscaped entrance, security keypad at the front door. I parked across the street and waited. Didn't know what I was looking for. Confirmation maybe. Proof that the address was real and not some elaborate mistake I'd misunderstood. At 4:30, a woman came out the front entrance. Mid-30s, dark hair, professional clothes. She walked to a silver sedan parked in the lot. I wrote down her license plate number. She could have been anyone. Could have been Rachel Dumont or just another tenant. I waited another hour, but David never showed up. Made sense since it was Tuesday. He came home at normal time on Tuesdays. That evening, David got home at 6. We ate dinner together and he talked about his day. Mentioned a difficult opposing counsel and a judge who was unreasonable. Details that sounded real and specific. He'd always been a good storyteller. That was probably why I'd never questioned his late night excuses. He asked about my work and I told him about a logo design I was finishing for a new client. Normal married conversation over pasta and salad. He offered to do the dishes. I went upstairs and called my friend Lindsay who worked in property management. Asked if she could run an address for me. She said technically she wasn't supposed to, but yes. I gave her the Oakmont Avenue address and she said she'd text me whatever she found. Lindsay sent me information an hour later, and what I saw shocked me. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.